Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Damie Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today we're talking about, a topic that you've been wanting to do for a while now, and I think now's a good time to do it. Mm-hmm. It's an excellent topic. It's basically pregnancy myths. It's a debunking. Is that how you say that word?
Pregnancy myths, bad advice, unsolicited advice, and a calling to let's stop some insane behaviors, especially as women.
That's a good intro. I think that pretty much sums it up.
I think so too. It's been a really interesting experience thus far.
And, I mean, does a lot of this surround your lifestyle or diet or what?
Well, some of it does, but some of it is just general. And the more I talk to women that have been through pregnancy and then having a child, a lot of them have had the exact same experience. Obviously, like, some different things come up because of my lifestyle, but the general bizarreness that takes place happens for most women that end up pregnant or having a child. Like, one of my girlfriends said, she said, nothing brings out people's opinions like having a child. And it's so strange.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because everyone has... I think it's probably because the experience is so emotional and it's so memorable and it's so... Which
is great, but I liken it to any great experience in life. So, I mean, I have a few things to say. First I want to just preface this because I don't want a bunch of emails or comments with anyone not fully listening to what I'm saying, that I completely understand every pregnancy is a different experience. I'm not taking away from anybody's experience. Every body is different, then every pregnancy is different. So, I'm not saying, when we get into what my pregnancy has been like, I'm not getting into, like, these things aren't true for everyone. I'm going to get into these things aren't true for me. But first I want to cover just, let's as women just join together and realize that some of our behaviors aren't working, and what we can do is, like, as a community, we can support each other, and instead of participating in behaviors that A, aren't helpful, and B, actually can be hurtful to people, let's join together as a community and become more, solid in our convictions and help each other.
Contribute positively. I mean, a lot of this you'll see is separating putting negative experiences on people.
Right.
And replacing that with positive ones.
And I'm not taking away that negative experiences don't happen. Obviously. In life and in death, there are some really intense things that people go through. And obviously, if you die, you're not here to talk about the intense things. So if you're giving birth, it's really intense. Now, there's a difference between sharing honest truths with someone that's pregnant that is asking you for information and, like, maybe providing some, okay, this is how you could avoid this, whatever. But there's a clear difference between that and just being mean. Mm-hmm. And sharing stuff that isn't necessary and scaring people and putting your negative experiences. It's like walking up to someone on their wedding day and being like, look, in 10 years, he's probably going to cheat on you. He's gonna be attracted to other women. He's never gonna help you. He's gonna pretend he's gonna make a lot of money. Then he's gonna fail. Then you're gonna be stuck with these kids that you didn't want to have, in a house you didn't want, in a life you hate. And
people do say that to people.
Right, it's insane though.
Yeah.
You can clearly see that's insane. But, that's not helping anybody. You're projecting your experience onto somebody else. And it's not helpful. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine when it's the other way. I mean, you're probably going to get into this, but, like, I'm so excited. I tell people every single day what's happening and where we are and how things are going. And I often I'll get one of two responses. Your life is going to change forever. Mm. It's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
or your life is going to change forever. It's the best thing that'll ever happen to you.
And if what comes out of your body is it's going to be horrible and everything's going to be hard, suck it down and go deal with it yourself. Nobody wants to hear that. It's not helpful. It's not nice. And it's not rational behavior.
No, it's not rational.
So there's two things with that. With pregnancy and with all things that we've never experienced, say going into marriage, having a child, starting a business, losing a loved one, moving away from home, anything that takes out, anything that is an experience that's going to be completely a new venture that you've never experienced before, you're going to have a little bit of being naive. And there's nothing wrong with that. Trying to take, someone's, happy, naive moments away from them, unless they're an 18-year-old that purposely got pregnant and is saying, can't wait to play with my doll, and they're delusional, and you're their mother, there's no place for anybody to walk up to a 33-year-old woman that's been married for 6.5 years and be like, you have no idea how hard it is to have kids. Well, no, I do. I waited 6.5 years into marriage and waited till I was 33 years old to have a child. It's not because I think it's really going to be breezy and easy. It's because I deeply respect what I've witnessed since I was 13 years old when my sisters started having children, what it is to be a mother. I learned what not to do, and I learned what to do. And that's why we're here where we are, and I would have waited 3 more years had our miracle not showed up on our doorstep.
That's right.
Right? So I think it's insane to bring your crap to other people. Mm-hmm. If you were delusional and you didn't realize what was about to happen, that's your story. That's for you. You don't put that on other people.
No, I completely agree.
I think people have this, the people that have said that to me have this idea that I'm sitting around shopping for shoes, drinking martinis.
Because of the photos. It's most likely because of the photos. We share these beautiful photos of our life. And people often see them and think, oh, their life is going to be flipped upside down. And
there's 2 sides to that. One side is all photos that I take are the beauty I see in my everyday life. That's what I see as the beauty, as a peak, or as something that I think is pretty. It's art to me in my life.
I mean, you've got an excellent eye, and it comes across really well in the photo.
B, I appreciate mundane things that normal people don't appreciate, and having a child or not having a child can't take that out of me.
No.
That's who I am. So don't put your stuff on other people. Obviously there's hard things about having children. No one is denying that. But it's not the time to walk up to a pregnant person and be like, your life is going to be hell, good luck.
It's going to be over.
And I'm always shocked when it's women, because I just think we are so intelligent and so powerful and have such influence on each other. It's shocking when we don't use it in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And when people try to warn me with look, it's going to be way harder than you think. It's going to be whatever. I'm not walking around saying it's easy, so I don't know what anyone's talking about. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I've never once said having a child is easy. I don't think it is. Why that impression has been put on me, I think it's because I don't complain a lot.
Yeah.
But,
let's go through some of them. I mean, so you're saying, okay, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. We see that.
Right, but why do I have to walk around proclaiming that?
That's right. Let's go through some of the myths that you've experienced. So people have said things to you, or you've read things online, and then what has been your experience in that situation?
So just the general people coming up to me or messaging me with warnings of how horrible the actual birth is going to be, or how horrible pregnancy is going to just ruin my body, and I'm going to be miserable for 9 months. I mean, okay.
Well, that hasn't been true. I mean, this is the point of this. I mean, you started out the first trimester.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable at times.
Yeah, it was basically queasy for 3 months straight. But I mean, I just kept thinking in my head, first of all, I don't think talking about it over and over and over and then sharing that with people, and then I would never go warn a pregnant person about it, I don't think it's helpful. I don't think ruminating and complaining is helpful. So
no, you're solution oriented.
I'm very solution oriented. So for me, I just did what I had to do, but keeping the perspective of this won't last forever, and it's literally for the biggest, best thing I've ever done in my life. I really couldn't complain past that. Right?
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a sacrifice. This whole process, like, pregnancy is a sacrifice. No matter what the negative forms come for you, it's a sacrifice. And then what I did is I moved forward doing my very best to be as comfortable and happy and healthy as possible. And the rest of the stuff that was nature that you can't control, I surrendered to it.
And I think that's a really important place to get to. I mean, so for you, it's about staying centered and staying calm, and really you do a lot of this work on your own because you're in this place where that's where you do it. But you do share things. You do communicate really well as well. It's just not over communication like
I communicate with you.
Definitely. But then this idea of surrender.
Yes, I'm big on surrender in all areas.
Especially when it's nature and it's things that are expected.
Right. So there's as good as you can do. There's all the things you can do. You can eat the foods that make you, like I found certain tricks with nausea, and David really helped me with in the first trimester figuring out that having actually nuts first thing in the morning helped me 2 ways. It helped me alleviate nausea, and then it helped eliminate guilt because I could actually eat, and I knew I was eating something that's calorie dense with nutrients, and I felt really good about that.
Yeah, so you got healthy fats, and you got a little bit of protein and fiber, and a little bit of salt for blood pressure, everything.
It really helped with the nausea. So those types of things we actively sought out and took care of. And the rest of it, like when I just constantly felt like I was on the tilt-a-whirl and felt nauseous, I would just do my best, and then I would surrender. There's nothing I could do. I just had to hang in there and know that this too shall pass. So just focus on the day, right? Mm-hmm. And without labeling the day, without saying this is a good day or this is a bad day. You and I would have discussions at the end of the day, like how did today go? And I'd be like, well, it was a rough one, or my gosh, it was so good. And when it was good, I would fuel the good, and I would try to implement what I did. And sometimes it didn't work. Like, it's just your body, it's hormones, it's that type of thing. I just did my best.
It's not like you were tallying which days were good and which days were bad. It's not. It's not that serious.
And it's already it's almost already gone. Mm-hmm. The memory of it.
Yeah, definitely. Because then you stepped into the second trimester and things started to lighten.
Yeah, I mean, my energy went up, and I could get back into regular workouts, and I could eat food again, normal food.
That was huge.
Yeah, and I mean, those simple things, I would just celebrate those. So yes, in the second trimester, other things happen that are uncomfortable, like stretching and growing and, weird cramps and pains and headaches. But I mean, in comparison to being nauseous 24/7, it's nothing. I don't care because it's acute. It doesn't last. I can get through it. Yeah. So it's about focusing on and celebrating the good things that are happening and staying focused in, it's only 9 months. Mm-hmm. It can seem like when you're in a bad, quote-unquote, rough day, but it's only 9 months, and you're creating a child. Like, it's a miracle. If you focus on the miracle of it, I find for myself, how can I be upset with anything? Mm-hmm. It's a miracle. It's an absolute gift, and, it's denied to some, and the pain that comes with that, and how could you not be grateful?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just that mindset alone is extremely helpful. Now you're 26 or 27 weeks.
I'm 27.
27 weeks, and there's some unique things about your pregnancy that I think you probably want to share. We've gone through some of them before, like the fact that you're vegan.
Right. So these are some things that are either myths or just things that I've kind of proven I find not to be true that I've been told generally. So one of the first ones is everyone's... a couple weeks ago, I started getting all my lists ready and ticking off things and getting everything prepared. And everyone's like, oh, you're nesting. Nesting is real. Nesting is real. And, I don't want to publicly say it to people because I just sound like a bee. But, no, that's just who I am. I think nesting is just normal organization and cleaning.
It sounds like it, yeah. It's something that you do anyway.
It's the way I prepare for my business. It's the way I prepare for, a launch. It's the way I prepare our home on a weekly basis. It's the way I handle everything. Mm-hmm. I am a clean, purge, organize, spotless. Like, I like things just so. I like a very minimalized environment. I don't like any extra junk, whatever. So, to me, I like some of these things have these huge titles, and I think it's just normal behavior when you're just about to, like, completely alter your life. Right. So I think it's just funny. I think for me, nesting is just Amy. It's just Amy's nesting 24/7 then, and has since I was basically like 7.
Amy has created a list, and the list is coming to fruition.
That's just my life. Like, it's like a joke. I'm like a hardcore list maker. Like, I have a list on my phone for my list on my desk.
Oh my God.
Like, I am, like, that's who I am and always have been.
Referencing back to the previous list. Please see.
I need a hard copy and a digital copy because I still don't trust.
All these years.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing that, really bothered people, and I know that some people still try to say things, and it's a horrible thing to think that people kind of have an energy of, like, waiting to see what goes wrong. But, being vegan. And I get it, but, like, we all just have to understand that we're generally really miseducated about what we need for nutrients. Mm-hmm. I'm, as any woman that's pregnant and careful, like, I mean, I've had all the blood work done, B12, iron levels, I not only, did I come up fine on those things, I came up perfectly healthy, like.
But some of the best I've seen for someone in your situation. Yeah,
so, and, like, I want to say, too, you don't become vegan once you become pregnant. You don't alter things. You don't start a diet or a diet shift when you're having a baby. I think that's not a great idea. But, being a vegan and eating an extremely well-rounded diet, being educated, your body being used to it. I mean, I'm years and years and years in. It's miseducation that you can't have a healthy pregnancy. You don't have to turn to meat. There's literally just no...
No, there should be no fear involved. You're someone who has very rarely had meat throughout the entire course of your whole life.
Yeah.
And so why would there be any difference now? Your nutrient absorption is excellent. Your numbers all show very good. And for most vegans who do it right, and who pay attention to having a well-rounded diet.
Well, and that's the thing I always want to say. Like, vegan doesn't mean healthy. Just like meat eater doesn't mean unhealthy, per se. Like, you can be unhealthy in any of those categories. It's about being vegan, but being healthy. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't eat meat or dairy or any animal products, but I eat nutrient-dense, unprocessed, high-volume foods. So, that's different than just saying, like...
Yeah, you're not like a vegan who just eats pastries all day.
Well, I'm not going to the grocery store and, like, seeing, okay, regular box of cookie, vegan cookie, and then taking vegan cookies.
Right.
So...
Yes, no, I completely get it.
It's about being healthy.
The point is that your nutrient absorption is great.
Yeah, I have no issues. So, if you do, like, and this is the thing, like, if you're not someone's doctor, stop commenting. Mm-hmm. Unless you're a family member and you see someone is like a color of gray that, upset you when you see them, gently saying, like, have you had your blood work done? Like, how are you feeling? Like, that's a different scenario. But just, like, oh, I heard vegans are unhealthy and you're gonna do bad things. And, like, no, you don't know anything.
Unless you're a grandmother, then you can say whatever you like.
Yeah, if you're a grandmother, you do you, girl.
You just go for it.
You say whatever you want.
Grandmother's the best for that.
Grandmother's earned it.
Yeah. We talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
I love it.
We love grandmothers. Another thing that I like, it's just because all my portrayals, outside of realistically knowing, being with my sister when she had amazing pregnancies. I had a great example in one of my sisters. But, everything you watch and everything you hear, and then, like, looking at, like, people's Facebook feeds, like, they just talk about these mood swings and, like, basically feeling like they're in hysteria with pregnancy. And, well, you can speak to that. I think I'm less moody than I've ever been.
But, I mean, I haven't noticed any changes.
No.
Like, I mean, it just seems status quo to me.
And I have to say, I think some of it is correlated to people that eat a lot of junk when they're pregnant. and are having highs and lows and crashes and getting super uncomfortable because they're gaining a lot of excess weight.
Definitely. I think there's a fourth aspect, and it's your environment.
Yeah, for sure.
Creating a positive environment, I think, is really important as well. So we've got those three, and then, of course, your home is your space. Mm-hmm. And in this space, I think you feel very comfortable, mm-hmm. even though you're going through so many changes. So the environment is important, and the mental atmosphere that you're in, so the people that you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. You surround yourself with very positive people who are very supportive of you.
What I'm trying to say is, if growing a baby or not, if I all of a sudden was having M&Ms for lunch because I was quote-unquote craving them, and then not exercising whatsoever.
The sugar crashes, the...
That would make me moody. And that has nothing to do with a baby. That would just put, like, pressure on an already hormonal situation, an already pressured situation. That's all I can say from my own experience. If I was eating junk food right now and not exercising, boom. Mood swings.
And this is the issue with this idea that, okay, now you're eating for two, all right, now you can eat whatever you like, you need calories, all this stuff. The extra calorie necessity, requirement is very low, actually.
I know.
You don't have to add a ton of calories on top. In fact, in one of the trimesters, I don't believe you need any extra calories. It's very low addition.
It is low, and it should be, optimally nutrient-dense food. So something, like, that's another thing I was going to say about the cravings. You know, there's been no moment where I'm like, Dave, in the middle of the night, go get me ice cream, whatever. Like, this is what people told me were going to happen. Like, first of all, I haven't had a lobotomy. I'm just pregnant. I'm not going to lose my mind and be like, honey. Like, no.
Honey.
No. Like, no, you've just lost your mind for a minute. Like, you know, and another perspective I've had, you know, I'll crave, say, like, ice cream, then I make blended fresh fruit.
Yes.
Like, you know.
So we're not saying that these things don't happen.
There's ways to handle it. You're still yourself. You're not a crazy person. I just don't like it when women treat themselves like they're in a state of hysteria that's right. Uncontrollable. Like, just bring it back to common sense a bit. Like, you know, I crave sweet potato chips. I'll take a sweet potato, bake some chips in the oven, and eat them. Like, there's rational ways to do it. And, like, one of the perspectives that has really kept me sane instead of, you know, not that I've even had major cravings, but that has even kept me from having those higher sugar things, because I can see ahead how they'll make me feel after, and then I'll feel guilty and think, well, that didn't do anything great for this baby. Why did I do that? Is I kind of vision her 2 years old, and I think of what I would feed her. And if I wouldn't let her have a specific thing, or want her to have it at that state, like, I don't see a point to it, I don't consume it.
That's a really nice rule.
So it's something I've just been using in my mind.
Cool.
To kind of keep things at a minimum, because, like...
It makes total sense.
It just is rational to me, because I don't understand, like, if I just went to the store right now and bought, like, fried food and chips and chocolate and ice cream and candy and whatever, and then, like, pictured shoving that in a baby's mouth. It's weird.
Yeah, and I can't imagine you ever doing that. So
no, but I'm saying, like, why would you... Like, common sense-wise,
yeah,
I don't get the point. And, like, it's easy to talk myself out of, like, what I'm saying. Like,
when that comes into your mind, like, right away. Like, you're having a craving. Okay, that comes into the mind. Okay, how can I replace this with something that maybe I would give to them?
Like, last week, we were at Whole Foods, and we had just got done a workout, and I was starting to get hungry. So, right away, my sugar cravings went up, and then we went by the candy salad bar, and, like, I still have, like, my little girl dreams about candy. Like, if I was, you know... If the world was a perfect world, the one thing I would make, like, okay to eat and never hurt me is candy. But candy gives me major mood swings. It throws my hormones off, and it does nothing positive for my body. So I'm standing there staring at the candy bar, just like, I love you, candy. You're so cute. You're right? And I'm just standing there, whatever. And then I thought, okay, obviously you're craving sugar. You want something. If my little girl's beside me right now, I don't think there's a necessity for candy at 2. I just don't. They're going to be my parenting thing. We all have our stuff. You know, so I walk over to the cooler, and there's, like, the containers for the same price of, like, cut up pineapple, blueberries, strawberries, whatever. And I'm like, candy.
You're such a goody-goody. This story is the most goody-goody story
It's not goody-goody. It's love. I love myself, and I love my unborn daughter.
It's true. I mean, the fact that you can reframe that so quickly...
not quickly. This is work.
I know.
I mean,
that's great.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm just special, gifted, and whatever. Like, I'm coming from a binge-eating, no boundaries, crazy person.
For sure.
You know.
I love it.
So
that is really the best way to do it, because those foods, they're delicious, and they are extremely satisfying when you're having a sugar craving. The tropical fruits, my gosh.
I mean, and the thing is because I don't ever give in to those chemical or, you know, white sugar, like, quick injection hits, this fruit is so sweet to me now. And so good. And plus, I'm giving this little girl, like, all this nutrients, which makes me happy, and I think about her eyes developing and her eyesight, and I think about her skin, and I feel so good. There's, you know, so visioning her, like, a toddler and just not what I wouldn't want her to consume on a regular basis has been a real gift.
I think it's such an awesome idea. Next on the list here, I see some things.
I see something?
I'm looking at this, and all I see is mean to your husband.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's part of the cravings.
Yeah, like, all you hear is, like, just mean nastiness, like, you know, to, like, your partner, whatever.
The demands, I need this, I need this, I need this. Yeah, we haven't really dealt with that.
No. But that's, like, I mean, you could speak to more. I just don't, I feel like we need to take our power back. Like, again, we are not having lobotomies. We're going through something, you know, tricky, but, like, we're still who we are. We're not possessed.
So true. And
I'm just tired of women being portrayed in such a negative light. So I'm just like, let's bring our power back.
I love it. This next one I see on your list is this myth we hear all the time, and there's some research to support certain aspects of it.
Right.
But this idea of waiting until your 30s, it's more difficult to have a baby.
Yeah.
And people will say this a lot, and of course the risks will increase once you hit a certain age.
35.
Once you get above 35, your risk for certain complications increase. But in terms of the mental atmosphere and the physical changes, what's your perspective on waiting until your 30s?
Well, I think about, you know, having a child a decade ago, and I didn't know who I was. I wasn't mature. I didn't have, you know, my business to where it is. I didn't have emotional maturity. You know, you and I hadn't had all these years to not only, you know, be together, but, like, build a real solid marriage and a life and achieve, you know, some major things we wouldn't, or it would have been way more stressful, you know, and hard and not fair to anybody, and probably there'd be resentment there. So, I mean, everybody's, have your baby whenever the heck you want, whatever feels right to you, but if you are a woman in your 30s and, like, everyone's telling you, like, I heard, like, you better get on it, A, it's going to be terribly hard to get pregnant, B, you know, it's going to be,
feel miserable.
You're going to feel miserable. It's way physically harder on your body, all those things. I feel healthier and younger now than I did when I was 18 years old. And that's the God honest truth. Being pregnant, like, things are going to happen. There's going to be some aches and pains, whatever. But, like, really, generally speaking, it's been great.
It's so true. And this is not only your experience. I see this for many women.
And it's about being healthy more than, like, your age number.
And so much of that is your mental state. It's your mental atmosphere. It's the habits you've developed.
Right.
In these last 10 years. These habits you didn't have before.
So, what you do before you get pregnant, what you do during pregnancy, and then what you do after, and the mental, you know, the actions that you take during all those times, and then the mental, what you nourish, what you know, do while you're pregnant, I think is just, and what you perceive. You know, like, I had a lot of people tell me a lot of negative stories, so I went out and sought books and information that was about people having positive pregnancy experiences, and then I limited my communication with the people that were negative. You know, I had people, as soon as they found out I was pregnant, was like sending me things like, wait until this happens, like demonic, weird, like torturous, like, who talks like that to people? So I shut those people out, and I went out and sought information. Even though I don't know these people, that's what I do. I read books before I go to bed when my mind's the most loose, you know, most absorbent. So I'm dreaming about, like, people that are just having these pleasant, beautiful experiences. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to be so naive. As long as you're educated, you're not going to ever be so naive that, like, you think that childbirth is going to be like shopping for marshmallows and then you're disappointed. Like, you know, that's what people are like.
Right. They
think if you fill up with too much good information, then, you know, you're going to be misled. You're not. You still have to be educated, obviously. But there's nothing wrong with filling up with positivity.
No, I completely agree. And this applies to every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing wrong with it.
No. One other thing that, just my last kind of myth, whatever, for me, is like that you have to stock up on so much maternity clothes. Mm. You know, I think it's really expensive and crazy, and I don't like a lot of it. Like, I haven't seen too much. I mean, there are some cool places to shop and whatever. I think there are specific pieces that you can get, but a lot of it is overrated. So, the things that I did buy that really, like, I love is I bought thongs with the lace sides. So, you can get those anywhere, basically. Or you can get them at a maternity store, but, like, you know, sometimes you just go a size up so you can wear them lower on your hips, just under your bump as it grows. Long tank tops, I didn't get maternity, I just got regular from H&M, just so that they cover your stomach so you're not like...
You mean the belly top?
Yeah, so longer t-shirts, and then the things I did invest in were good pregnancy workout tights, and because I love them, they're supportive. I like over the belly, so that was important for me. If you don't like over the belly, like I still wear my Lululemons under my belly, but I like having the thing over. Yeah, and pin skirts and maxi dresses. You don't need to get those in maternity. You can buy them inexpensive and rock them the whole, you know, get a size up if you have to.
Yeah.
You know, and like Forever 21, like, I go back and forth with shopping there. I know it's not the most ethical thing on earth. Don't blast me about this, but if you're looking for things like just to wear for a few months that are stretchy, maxi dresses and pin skirts, you can get there for like literally under $10. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So
it's true, and it's comfortable and it looks good and
you feel
good in it. I mean, yeah,
and easy. You don't feel guilty that you just spent $100 on something you're going to only wear for 8 weeks.
Right.
So
yeah, no, that's really good advice. I mean, there's been other things, of course, that I feel like you've been applying to your pregnancy that maybe others don't.
Things that really have worked for me.
Yeah, tell me.
Obviously, eating healthy every single day. I'm drinking 3 liters of water at least every single day. And I'm exercising every single day. The intensity of my workouts is definitely not what it was pre-pregnancy, but I still do it. And I listen to my body. I never push myself beyond, you know, being comfortable. But I, you know, definitely work out every day. I haven't, like, jogged or ran since becoming pregnant, but I have done, like, intense elliptical and, like, hills walking, that type of thing. And I lift light weights every day.
Yeah, these things are just a part of your life. They haven't really changed, just the intensity.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes me feel amazing because I'm eating healthy. I'm, you know, working out, so I feel good. Yeah. Like, I feel good. I look good. I feel like it's all good for everybody involved. That's something that's really worked. Another really simple, like, silly thing is just light, comfortable pajamas. I found that made a big difference. Like, I was still trying to just wear whatever I wore to bed before, and I started to get uncomfortable at night, but I find, like, just buying really thin, sheer, light, comfortable pajamas, as silly as it sounds, just, like, made me feel luxurious and comfortable. And whatever that is for you, I just getting that good night's sleep, setting that up, which is really tricky in pregnancy, especially like now that the baby's moving so much and whatever. And
especially for someone who doesn't already set up their night's sleep to be excellent. Anyways.
Exactly.
If you don't have a routine, now is the time.
So if you know, if a body pillow is for you, or if a fan is for you, or a dehumidifier, whatever that is, whatever makes for you. For me, it was just switching to really light, luxurious pajamas. Do invest in that stuff, because you can't getting as good a sleep as you can, which you're not going to have if you're anything like me, wonderful sleeps past a certain point, but that's okay. Whatever, you know, but just doing the best you can to support a good night's sleep has been huge for me.
Great. I mean, it's so incredibly important, especially now, because you're growing a human.
Yeah.
you need the resources. You need the recovery.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's been a huge part of it.
In eating, I eat basically the same as I always have. I eat a bit more, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Eat healthy. Hopefully you're on a healthy plan already, and then just increase your calories just a tiny bit.
Yeah, whatever, and discuss that with your doctor. It's crazy. Like, for me, what I had to increase is basically, like, not much. Like, 2 extra things of fruit and 1 extra serving of carbohydrate made up for the exact amount of extra calories that I needed outside of what I was eating to support a healthy, growing baby. So, I mean, really get into that and see what that is for you. And like I said, if it kind of makes sense to you, like I was saying, like, you know, if you're having trouble with cravings, or like you're trying to rationalize what you want to do there with pregnancy, using the idea of your child at, you know, being like a toddler and what you would want to see them eating, like as a healthy...
Exactly. It's a great way of doing
it.
You're using your body butter.
Oh my gosh. Okay, my body butter, the ultimate body butter, like, it may look crazy expensive, but once you make it, it makes a whole bunch of jars, and I'm telling you, my skin is better than before. Like, it is a lifesaver. Like, every day. If you're in, also, more often if you get itchy, if your skin's stretching, don't itch, apply body butter and rub. Morning, night, this body butter, it is a godsend. I'm obsessed.
I'll link it in the show notes.
Please.
Yeah, so that link will be right under the episode today.
It's the best. Like, I had stretch marks, like, on the sides of my butt from, like, when I originally had lost weight, and they've literally faded from using the body butter.
Really?
Yeah, like, it's amazing.
That's awesome. Finally, we've got a few quick hitters here. You're using natural lip balm.
Lip balm, like, I don't know what happened, but as soon as I was pregnant, like, I needed lip balm 24/7. Get, you know, something that's all natural, you know, has a good oil base. Helps so much. Another thing, don't listen to other people. Like, whatever you gotta do. If you gotta hide people on your Facebook feed, if you have to not respond to certain people, if you have to limit communication a bit with other people, like, send them love. Like, it's not a hate thing, block out. It's like, if you know someone's super negative and they don't respect your boundaries, if you're in a position where you can ask them to please not share such negative information, if you can't do that, just block them out for a few months.
Exactly, just only a few months.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Now, I really think we should finish on this idea. I mean, you've been always doing your journaling, visualization, and your very specific readings,
yes,
that you've been for so long.
Yes.
In this situation, something that you talk about a lot is keeping the focus, and we've discussed it already today, but I want to re-go over it. Keeping the focus on the experience that you want to have.
Yes.
Staying positive and really envisioning the way that you want things to go. That's been extremely helpful.
100%, because when I first got pregnant and everyone started flooding me with all this information, and I'm feeling nauseous and everything feels out of control, and, you know, my body's changing for the first time in, like, all these years, and it was really scary, and I felt like it was out of control, and I started to be scared, like, this bad thing's gonna happen, this bad thing's gonna happen, and I'm gonna hate this, and then I had to, like, okay, wait, I have to apply what I do with the rest of my life in this moment. So I got back into settling into my morning practice. I also visualized being a healthy, strong, beautiful, radiant, pregnant woman. I envisioned intuitively knowing what to do and what to provide for my child at any given time. You know, I envisioned knowing when to rest, having the time to rest. I envisioned feeling peaceful and, like, the optimal, like, pregnancy, who I wanted to be as a mother. And I do that right along. I visualize birth. I do all those things without setting it in stone. Because that's when we set things in stone, we get disappointed. I always pray for things and visualize things and feed things and say, or the optimal good, or the highest good, or the better good that I don't know what that is. Because exactly. I always believe nature is smarter than us, and when we start to think we are smarter than nature is when we make mistakes, and then we start to get disappointed. You know, with birth, like, obviously I'd love to have this baby naturally, and, you know, it'd just be this beautiful, wonderful experience. But if nature's like, no, girl, you need a C-section, then I don't want to villainize that. I want to surrender to whatever the highest good is, right? So then I'm flexible, I'm fluid, I'm letting it all go, like, I'm open to whatever has to be done. But I'm educated and fueling all possible scenarios with love.
Perfect. I love it. It's so much about mindset, and for you, you've really organized this in your brain about how you want things to go, and really it's played out over the first few trimesters already.
It actually shocks me. Like, I kind of don't want to reflect back on it yet.
Yeah.
Because but I will when it's over. But I just will say I've shocked myself in every way so far.
I love it.
And I've shocked everyone in my, a lot of people said, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. None of it's true. So I'm just like...
That's so cool.
I'm just high-fiving myself inside, and we'll talk about it all when she's here and she's perfect and we're sitting here and she's cooing. But
exactly. I love it so much.
Yeah.
That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for your tips and sharing your journey so far. Have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamieHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamieHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamieHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamieHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.